My name is Mrs. Preslin, and I'm here today to show you a thing or two about playing the clarinet. So if you've missed the super lesson or you just need a quick refresher, then you've come to the right place. We're going to begin by taking the instrument out of its case, and I'm going to show you how to put it together. So I would always tell you to put the case on the floor, because if you put it on your lap, the pieces could fall out and go all over the floor. For today's purposes, to show you the inside of the case, I'm going to leave it on my lap for now. So if you have a school instrument, you want to have the words elementary band facing up. If you're renting an instrument, you want to have the label or the brand name facing up. If you open your case upside down, then the pieces are going to go all over the place. So some cases unzip like mine. Most of them will have latches. So you're just going to flip the latches up and down and then open the lid. The first piece you want to find is called the reed. And this is the most important piece because without the reed, you won't get a sound. So let's take a close-up of the reed. So while you're putting the instrument together, you're going to put the reed in your mouth to get it wet. And you're going to leave it in your mouth the whole time you put it together. Now, I'm not going to do that today just because I want you to be able to understand what I'm saying. So I'm just going to set it right here. Now you're going to find the two biggest pieces of the instrument. The upper joint and the lower joint. And these two pieces are going to go together. So put the smaller of the two pieces in your left hand and the bigger of the two pieces in your right hand. And you're going to put them together. See, all of these keys and all of these keys are going to go together in the middle. If you put it on the wrong way, it won't fit. So we're going to put these two pieces together very carefully, because if you twist it too far around, these keys will bump and they'll snap off and break. So make sure you're really careful when you put it together. And if the brown part is called the cork, and if that's too dry, you might have to put some cork grease on it, which could either come in a little case like this, or it could come in a tube like chapstick. So for this, you would just open it up, put your finger in there, rub a little bit on the cork, and then it'll go together. Mine is already greased, so I didn't need to add any on today, and you might not either. Now when you put these two pieces together, you want to make sure that you line up this with this, those two parts. And another way to check yourself is when you get it together, look at the holes, and they should line up all together just like on a recorder, like what you played on last year in 4th grade. So this is the main body of the instrument. Next, we're going to put on the bell, which is, guess what? Shaped like a bell. And this is going to go on the bottom of the lower joint. If you try to put it up here, it won't fit. So again, push and twist, and if you need to grease that cork, go for it. Now the next piece is called the barrel, shaped like a cylinder. This piece goes on top of the upper joint, like so. If you put it on backwards, it won't fit. Push and twist. Now we're going to find the mouthpiece. Now this already has, this silver thing is called a ligature. And the ligature is what holds the reed, that piece of wood, onto the mouthpiece. So first we're just going to put the mouthpiece on. And when you put the mouthpiece on, you want the flat part to line up with the back of the instrument. The back of the instrument is mostly black and there's no holes except for this one and the thumb rest. So that lines up there. This is the front of the instrument. Last thing we're going to do as far as putting it together is to put the reed on. So you're going to put the ligature on. So when you're looking at the clarinet, the screws are going to point off to your right, like that. Now the reed, which has been, remember, been soaking in your mouth, and just put the reed case back in your case. Now you should probably have the word Rico or maybe Van Doren. That's the brand name of the reed. You're going to put that part, or the flat part, against the flat part of the mouthpiece. So lift the ligature up a little bit, slide it on down, and then you're going to line up the tip of the reed with the tip of the mouthpiece. And then the ligature should be down below where it changes direction on the mouthpiece. So then you take the screws, and you don't want to tighten them all the way. You just want to tighten them enough to hold that reed on. And I usually tell students to tighten the bottom one tighter than the top one, but they should still be able to move around just a little bit. Let's look at a close-up of the mouthpiece once it's all put together so you can see the different parts. Now let's look at a picture of the instrument with all of the names of the pieces, just in case you forget. Here's a picture that will help you. Now that we've got it assembled, we're going to talk about where to put our hands. So for now, just take your right hand. Now that you're going to play the instrument, you want the reed facing you, and just wrap it around the barrel, like so. You don't even need your left hand yet. Now let's talk about how to get a sound. So I always tell students, make your lips like a chipmunk. Put your top teeth on the top of the mouthpiece. Your lip is going to go against the reed. Like that. Then you're going to close the corners of your mouth and blow. Now be careful that you only put about half of the mouthpiece in. If you put too much in your mouth, it'll squeak. If you don't have enough in your mouth, you can't get a sound at all. You also want to make sure you don't squeeze too tight or it won't work either. So just a little bit of pressure. Like that. Now that we've got our first sound, I'm going to show you the first 3 notes, and once you learn these first 3 notes, you'll already be able to play a song. So with your left hand, you're going to put the thumb over this back hole. Don't press the button, just cover the hole. Then put your first finger over the top hole. This is called E. Now take your second finger and cover up the hole, not the button, but the hole, just like a recorder. And with your next finger, you're going to cover up this last hole on the top. And that's a C, so E, D, C. And guess what? Now you can play hot cross buns, which is number 16 in your red book if you're really ambitious. Now we're going to take the instrument apart. So again, you would leave your case on the floor. And the first thing you're going to do is take that reed off and put it back safely in its case. Be really careful with the reed because the end is really thin. And if it gets bumped on something, you could chip it and break it, and then it won't work anymore. So when you put the reed back in the reed case, you want to put the brand name, Rico or Van Dorn or whatever it is, against that clear spot. This is completely clear. The top has those little ridges. Make sure you don't push it into the case too far or it'll get stuck. So the tip should be hanging out a little bit. So then you put that back in your case. And it doesn't really matter if you take the mouthpiece or the bell off first. I'm going to go in reverse order when I put it together. So I'm going to take the mouthpiece off next. And when you store the mouthpiece, you're going to put the ligature over it. Some clarinets come with a mouthpiece cap too, which just protects the tip of the mouthpiece. And then when you put it back in, just make it fit like a puzzle. So there's the mouthpiece slot. Let's take the barrel off next. Twist and pull. And that's going to go in this little slot. And then let's take the bell off next, like that. And then we're left with the upper joint and the lower joint. And again, when you twist them and pull, be careful not to twist it too far or you could snap off those keys. Put the bigger piece in the bigger slot, and you've only got 1 slot left. Then close the lid and either zip it closed or latch it, and you're all set. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you soon.